what is virology? Again, so we'll repeat certain facts of this. The branch of science which deals with the study of viruses is called as virology, and the scientist who works in this branch is called as virologist, isn't it? So yesterday I told you. So what are viruses? Viruses are small, ultra microscopic. Okay, you can say they are electron microscopic. Acellular means they don't have cellular organization as like that of the cell of plant, perfect cell of plant or perfect cell of animal, okay, or the cell of bacteria, cell of fungus. So such type of cellular organization the viruses don't have. They are highly infectious, means disease causing. Infectious means disease causing. Nucleoproteins. Okay, nucleoprotein means they are made up of nucleic acid and proteins. Obligate parasite. So these facts that I have told you, obligate parasite. That means they require living host for their growth and multiplication. That can replicate only inside the living host cell. Okay, त्याचं मल्टिप्लिकेशन जे आहे ते फक्त आणि फक्त लिव्हिंग होस्ट सेल मध्येच होतं. Isn't it? So they are much smaller than bacteria. Their size is variable and which can cross the bacterial filter also. Okay, so viruses are smaller than bacteria. मी मागच्याच कुठे तर पॉइंट मध्ये सांगितलंय, viruses are smaller than bacteria. They are of variable size, but they can cross through bacterial filter. Okay, bacterial filter वेगवेगळ्या प्रकारचे असतात बाळांनो. फिल्टर म्हणजे समजा असे फिल्टर की ज्याच्यामधनं बॅक्टेरिया पास होत नाहीयेत. बॅक्टेरिया प्रूफ फिल्टर मधनं पण व्हायरसेस खाली पास होतात. चाळणी, आपण चहा पितो, चहा गाळाची चाळणी असते, पत्ती वरी असते आणि चहा लिक्विड चहा आपल्याला कपामध्ये मिळतो चालते वेळेस. ठीक आहे. सो सेम टाईप आपण जर एखादं लिक्विड जर चाळलं तर त्याच्यामध्ये वरी काय असेल, बॅक्टेरिया असतील, पण बॅक्टेरियाच्या खालच्या ह्याच्यामध्ये काय होईल, त्या ठिकाणी viruses means they can pass through, they can cross through bacterial filter or bacterial filter. Okay, so extracellular forms, the extracellular forms of viruses are inert particles known as virions. Okay, extracellular means when the viruses are present outside the cell, so those viruses are called extracellular viruses. So where they are present, I told you that they are present everywhere. They are present on the table, they are present in air, they are present in soil, water. Okay, they are present on ice, they are present in ice also. So most of our planet is covered with what you can say snow, isn't it? Therefore in those area also we may get viruses. So from the biological perspective, viruses cannot be classified as under living or non-living things. Okay, मी म्हणलं की viruses according to biologists we are calling it as viruses are living because viruses can reproduce, can multiply, can what you can say undergo mutation, isn't it? So these are the characters which supports living nature. And viruses, they don't have respiratory system, they don't respire, they can be converted into crystallized form, isn't it? So these are the characters which supports what you can say non-living nature. So from biological perspective, so viruses cannot be classified as under living or non-living. So they are in present in between living and non-living what you can say organisms. Okay. Definition: submicroscopic entity consisting of single nucleic acid, either DNA or RNA. बघा, submicroscopic entity, submicroscopic in the sense आपला मायक्रोस्कोप म्हणजे साधा ऑर्डिनरी लाईट मायक्रोस्कोप असतो. सो दे आर सब मायक्रोस्कोपच्या ऑर्डिनरी मायक्रोस्कोप पेक्षाही खालच्या लेवलला, मीन्स दे आर अल्ट्रा मायक्रोस्कोपिक और यू कैन से दे आर इलेक्ट्रॉन मायक्रोस्कोपिक. ओके, so submicroscopic entity consisting of single nucleic acid surrounded by protein coat. Okay, surrounded by what? Surrounded by protein coat, isn't it? So isn't it? Say for example, so these are what you can say, this is what nucleic acid, we can say this is what DNA, isn't it? And around this DNA, this is nucleic acid. Okay, nucleic acid, what you can say, nucleic acid. So nucleic acid, so these are the what you can say the nucleic acid. Nucleic acid is in the form of DNA or RNA. And around this nucleic acid here we may get, yes, Prasanna, don't write anything. सो वी मे गेट. हा, तुम्ही जे काही असे ऍक्टिव्हिटी केल्यात ना लगेच दिसते मला. सो आय विल थ्रो आउट यू आउटसाइड द क्लास. ओके, सो प्लीज बी इन डिसिप्लिन. मला माहित आहे तुम्ही सगळेजण माझ्यापेक्षा हुशार आहात टेक्नॉलॉजिकली. बट हिअर आय एम युअर टीचर, सो जस्ट लिसन द टीचर. हा, so this is what the nucleic acid. This is nucleic acid, or what you can say DNA or RNA, and around this nucleic acid this coat is present. So this coat is what? Protein coat. This is capable of replication only inside the living cell of bacteria, animal or plant. So viruses can multiply, okay, replicate inside only and only living cell of bacteria, animal, or what you can say plant, isn't it? Okay, so characteristics of bacteria. ओके, मी तुम्हाला काही पॉइंट सांगितले तरी पण ऍडिशनल पॉइंट. सो आय विल शेअर दिस पॉवर पॉइंट टू एव्हरीबडी फ्रेंड्स. मी हे पॉवर पॉइंट तुम्हाला सगळ्यांना देईन जेणेकरून यू कॅन यूज इट ॲज अ रेफरन्स मटेरियल फॉर युअर एक्झामिनेशन पर्पज. यू कॅन यूज दिस ॲज स्टडी मटेरियल. सो व्हायरसेस हॅव इनर कोर ऑफ न्यूक्लिक ऍसिड सराउंडेड बाय प्रोटीन. ओके, मी आताच डायग्राम काढली होती. न्यूक्लिक ऍसिडचा इनर कोर आहे अँड अराउंड विथ प्रोटीन्स आर प्रेझेंट. सो दॅट दोज प्रोटीन्स so that protein is called as envelope. Envelope means covering. Envelope means what? Covering, isn't it? So most viruses ranges from the size is concerned. Okay, so most viruses ranges from 20 to 250 nanometer size. Okay, so viruses ranges from 20 to 50 nanometer size. So viruses are inert nucleoprotein filterable agent. They are inert in the sense outside the host. They are of non-living type, inert type, and they can pass through bacteria food filter. So viruses are obligate intracellular parasite. Okay, so that you know, viruses occupy a space in between living and non-living world because they are crystallizable and non-living outside the body of host. Okay, so they can be converted into crystal form. So yesterday I told you viruses can be converted into crystal form. So it was the Stanley in the year 1935 who as first time crystallized viruses, isn't it? So viruses, crystals of a chemical compound, crystals of sugar like this, no, crystals of salt. Likewise, viruses can be converted into crystal form. So they are non-living outside the body of host. Viruses depend fully on the host cell machinery to continue their life. So viruses, जर व्हायरसेसला त्याची लाईफ कंटिन्यू करायचं असेल, जिवंत राहायचं असेल, आय एम टॉकिंग अबाउट इट्स व्हॉट यू कॅन से लाईफ. सो व्हायरसेसला जर जिवंत राहायचं असेल तर व्हायरसेसला त्या होस्टच्या सेलमध्येच राहावं लागतं. ओके, सो मेटाबॉलिकली आउटसाइड द होस्ट व्हायरसेस आर मेटाबॉलिकली इनइफिशियंट. ओके, म्हणजे होस्टच्या बाहेर ते मेटाबॉलिझम करू शकत नाहीयेत. फॉर युअर इन्फॉर्मेशन फ्रेंड्स, सो आउटसाइड द होस्ट व्हायरसेस आर ऑफ इनर्ट टाइप. So they are responsible for number of dreadful diseases in human, plants, okay, and animals also. Okay, no doubt humans are animals. So viruses, as I told you, the viruses are pathogenic. Viruses are pathogenic. They are responsible to cause diseases. Okay, in case of human, so we can take lot of examples. Presently, the COVID-19, okay, corona, what you can say, corona is a virus disease. In few days back, there was what you can say swine flu. That was also viral disease, isn't it? Again, before that, so there was what you can SARS. Likewise, polio is a virus disease, isn't it? Hepatitis is again virus. Likewise, so these are deadful diseases in human. In case of plants, we can take lot of examples. The example what we are going to see in detail in the BSc first year botany is TMV, tobacco mosaic virus. Okay, tobacco mosaic virus उदाहरण आपण यावर्षी पाहणारच आहोत. Again, भेंडी mosaic virus. Bhendi is the what you can say important vegetable. So virus is responsible for yellow vein mosaic of bhendi. Yellow vein mosaic. So in that what you can say leaves of bhendi plant, so veins actually veins and veinlets which are present in the leaf of bhendi, so that get convert into yellow. Okay, yellowing. So yellow, the name is yellow vein mosaic of bhendi. Yellow vein mosaic of bhendi. Okay, so this is the plant disease. Papaya mosaic virus is another plant disease, isn't it? Okay. Next, size of viruses. Friends, this is a virtual scale where you will get idea about where viruses stands. The size of viruses where it comes. So friends, animal cell, plant cell, bacterial cell, okay, pox virus, ribosome. So these are different, what you can say, life forms, isn't it? Where, and this is what the scale in a meter, where actually it is in nanometer, nm here. So size of atom here, it is less than 10 raised to minus 10 angstrom, you can say here. Okay, whereas small molecules, protein 10 raised to minus 8, in the range of 10 raised to minus 8 to 10 raised to minus 9. This is nano. This is nanoscale, friends. Nanotechnology is the new science which is progressing nowadays in various fields, including biological science also. So nanoscale, 10 raised to minus nanometer, isn't it? Now here viruses stands. So the size of bacteria is in between what you can say here. This is scale is around 10 raised to minus 6. Whereas virus, pox virus as well as virus. So this is the what you can say virus and ribosomes. Ribosomes are virus. Size of virus and size of ribosome is little bit of same type, isn't it? Okay, similar type. So it stands in between 10 raised to minus 7 to 10 raised to minus 8, what you can say nanometer, and which is what you can say the wavelength of, so the wavelength of X-ray is 10 raised to minus 7 to 10 raised to minus 10. So here, and the what you can say capacity of electron microscope to show the virus particle is 10 raised to minus 4, is in between 10 raised to minus 4 to 10 raised to minus 9. In the nanoscale also, in nanoscale level, we can see the what you can say the object under electron microscope. So, and the capacity of light microscope is to show the object within the range of 10 raised to minus 3 to 10 raised to minus 6, or up to what you can say 10 raised to minus, okay, you can say 10 raised to minus 6. So this is the capacity of light microscope, wherein we can see the object, biological object. We can study the biological object of this type, means plant cell, animal cell, and bacterial cell. Whereas if you want to see what you can say the subcellular particles, including viruses, mitochondria, chloroplast, etc., then you can use what you can say this electron microscope. Okay, so approximate size you will, as idea about the size you will get in this scale. Now friends, so this was the comparison. What type of comparison? The comparison in between bacteria and viruses. Okay, so size, it is in between. So the size, first is size, it is up to 1000 nanometer, whereas viruses is in between 20 to 300 nanometer size. So bacterial filters can hold them back, whereas bacterial filters allow to pass viruses. So visibility, as far as visibility म्हणजे दिसणं, so the viruses can be observed under the light microscope, whereas bacteria can be observed under the light microscope. Bacteria, so this is the column of bacteria, bacteria can observe under light microscope, whereas viruses requires electron microscope. Living and non-living nature. So bacteria are living, whereas viruses we can't say definitely. So they are living inside the cell and non-living outside the cell. Okay, so they can be converted to crystal form. So this is the non-living property. Cell wall. So here bacteria has definite cell wall, viruses don't have cell wall. They have only protein coat around them. So by observing these characters, friends, you can clear cut develop an idea in your mind that how viruses and bacteria are different from one another. Okay, so by having these characters like size, visibility, living, non-living things, cell wall, cellular organization. So bacteria is what you can say, it is just like a perfect cell, but here in case of viruses, we don't have any cellular organization. Nucleic acid, okay, no doubt nucleic acid is present in both bacteria as well as viruses, but ribosomes are absent from the viruses. Multiplication, here bacteria multiplies by means of binary fission, okay, or it is a kind of what you can say, binary fission is a kind of what you can say my method of cell division. So they are capable of multiplying on their own, म्हणजे स्वतःच्या स्वतः बॅक्टेरिया मल्टिप्लाय होऊ शकतात फ्रेंड्स, बट व्हायरसेस नीड्स होस्ट cell machinery to multiply, and one thing is that viruses can multiply only and only inside the host cell. Okay, viruses host cell मध्येच मल्टिप्लाय होतात, पण बॅक्टेरिया सेलच्या म्हणजे इंडिपेंडेंटली दे कॅन डिवाइड, दे कॅन मल्टिप्लाय, but here viruses requires what? Viruses requires living cell and the machinery of living cell for its multiplication. Okay, again, so here bacteria exist as saprophyte, parasite or commensal, whereas viruses they essentially exist as intracellular parasite. Viruses are present inside the intracellular parasite. Okay, so bacteria are saprophyte. That means bacteria can grow on dead decaying organic matter. Bacteria can grow on food. Bacteria can grow on what you can say decaying vegetables, fruits, etc. They are parasite, means they can grow as a parasite on other plant, animal, or they can common cell म्हणजे सोबत, ओके, सोबत राहणारे, त्याला म्हणतो सहभोजी. ओके, म्हणजे सोबत एकमेकांसोबत कॉमन राहणारे. इजंट इट? लाईकवाईज आपल्या बॉडीवर बॅक्टेरिया भरपूर असतात. आपल्या एलिमेंटरी कॅनल मध्ये वी हॅव लॉट ऑफ बॅक्टेरियल फ्लोरा इनसाइड आवर व्हॉट यू कॅन से एलिमेंटरी कॅनल. अन्ननलिकेमध्ये आपल्या बॅक्टेरिया, इंटेस्टाइन मध्ये बॅक्टेरिया भरपूर आहेत, म्हणजे त्या आहेत. सो दे आर कॉमन सेल बॅक्टेरिया. कॉमन सेल बॅक्टेरिया मीन्स those bacteria lives along with other living organisms without producing any harm or any disease. Friends, such organisms are called common cell organism. COMMENSAL, common cell, सोबत राहणारे, एकमेकांसोबत राहणारे. Okay, and in case of what you can say viruses essentially exist as a intracellular parasite. Okay, and friends, parasites are mostly of disease causing agents. Parasites are mostly of disease causing agent. Okay, now transmission. So these are this is the table where you can get idea about how viruses are different than bacteria. So transmission, sir, bacteria can be transmitted through various routes like air, food and water. So in case of rainy season, peoples may get lot of what you can say bacterial infections which spreads through what you can say dirty water, drinking of non-potable water, isn't it? So we can say cholera, typhoid. So these are what bacterial diseases, and from where we are getting it through what you can say food or what you can say non-potable water. Okay, impure water. But in case of viruses, that can be transmitted through infected host to healthy person. Viruses can transmitted from infected host to healthy person. Suppose in case of COVID, you can say if the person is suffering from corona, then so that person itself is responsible to spread the infection. Means the person where which is having COVID disease is called host of that COVID virus, and so that person will spread the disease. Likewise, other means are also there transmission. In case of plant viruses can be transmitted from one plant to other plant by different means. Say, for example, you can say by during what you can say agricultural practices, farmer used to cut the plants. Okay, harvesting. At the time of harvesting, farmer used to cut the plants, and it use what you can say generally one sickle. Okay, so if the same sickle is used by the farmer to cut different types of plant, and meanwhile if some plant got the virus inside virus infection, then the same sickle with the same sickle the viruses can be transmitted from one host to other host. So these are some through agriculture practices. If some virus is present inside the seed, then the plant whatever is going to develop from such seed, so it will be of what you can say diseased plant. In case of some plants, agriculture plants, some plants can be cultivated through what you can say stem cuttings. You can say sugarcane, potato, like this. So those, so sugarcane, so the stem cuttings are buried into the soil, and from that stem cuttings vegetative part, the virus the plant grows. And if that cuttings vegetative part of the plant contains viruses, then whatever the new plant which is going to form such plant, it will contain the viruses. So that is the way of. So we will deal more detail about the transmission in the coming period. पुढच्या एका दुसऱ्या टॉपिक मध्ये व्हायरस ट्रान्समिशन मध्ये आपण जास्त बोलता. Now importance bacteria economically, they are industrially important for mankind. So friends, no doubt bacteria, there are some bacteria pathogenic, but some bacteria are of useful also. Some bacteria are industrially important, whereas viruses are mostly pathogenic. Okay, viruses are mostly pathogenic. Bacteriophages, virions, proins are useful in biotechnological studies. Okay, so these are what you can say bacteriophages are viruses. Bacteria infecting viruses. बघा, बॅक्टेरिया हा सिंगल सेल्युलर आहे. त्या सिंगल सेल बॅक्टेरियाला पण व्हायरसचा डिसीज होतो. Isn't it? So they are bacterial viruses. Bacteriophages are bacterial viruses. Treatment. So bacterial diseases can be treated by using antibiotic, whereas viruses are not respond. So they are not going to respond with antibiotic. That means viral diseases cannot be cured with antibiotic. Okay, viral diseases cannot be cured with antibiotic. Friends, you keep this in your mind that no antibiotic is going to work against viral disease, whereas bacterial disease can be cured by using antibiotic. Bacteria are susceptible to antibiotic, whereas viruses are not. So they are resistant. So what are antibiotic, friends? Okay, antibiotic म्हणजे काय? Yes, anybody कोणी सांगू शकेल अनम्यूट करून?
काय ते सांग विचारले ग.
Antibiotic, what is antibiotic?
रेजिस्टन्स असते की अँटीबायोटिक.
हा, म्हणजे डेफिनेशन अँटीबायोटिकची डेफिनेशन काय तुम्हाला माहिती आहे का?
सांग ये पाहिजे पप्पा सांगते ते.
Relieve the pain.
Yes, what is antibiotic? Okay, just you write down. I will tell you. Antibiotic. Antibiotic are the compounds produced by one microorganism. Okay, antibiotics are the compounds produced by one microorganisms and are used to kill other microorganisms. Such compounds are called as antibiotics. Okay, antibiotics are the compounds.
Sir, can you repeat, sir?
Yes, you can you write down. Antibiotics are the compounds. Antibiotics are the compounds produced by one microorganism and are used to kill other microorganism. Okay, so such compounds are called as antibiotic. Okay, now friends, we can take an example of penicillin. Okay, penicillin is antibiotic. So antibiotic penicillin is produced by fungus, Penicillium chrysogenum or Penicillium notatum. Okay, so this penicillin is used to kill. So penicillin is produced by fungus, one organism, and this is used to kill bacteria, other organism. Okay, so most of the doctor used to prescribe penicillin antibiotics. Streptomycin is another antibiotic produced by bacteria. Okay, so streptomycin is another antibiotic. So these antibiotics are produced by bacteria, and those antibiotics are used to kill another bacteria. So these are the antibiotic, friends. Now, so bacteria are susceptible to antibiotic, whereas viruses are resistant to antibiotic. म्हणून जर समजा कुणाला व्हायरल डिसीज झाला, व्हायरल इन्फेक्शन झालं, तर शक्यतो अँटीबायोटिक घ्यायचं टाळा, बिकॉज अँटीबायोटिक्स हे खूप रेअर केसमध्ये डॉक्टर ऍडवाइस करतात. अँटीबायोटिक हे खूप रेअर केसमध्ये डॉक्टर प्रिस्क्राईब करतात. त्यामुळं शक्यतो व्हायरल इन्फेक्शन जर झालं तर आपली जी नैसर्गिक इम्युनिटी आहे बॉडीची, so that itself defends viral infection, and so in such infections you have to keep active your immune system. Okay, so by taking some, what you can say, good foods, vitamin C intake you have to increase at that time likewise. Okay, so next example is Streptococcus, Clostridium. Okay, so Cryonibacterium. So these are some of the examples. Whereas in case of virus, HIV virus, which is responsible to cause ears disease, chickenpox virus, measles, mumps. Okay, again you can take polio. Likewise, you can take COVID virus. Okay, influenza virus. So you can take like this. So diseases, as far as diseases is concerned, viruses, bacteria generally they cause localized or systemic infection. Localized or systemic infection. Friends, localized and systemic infection मधला फरक सांगतो. लोकल इन्फेक्शन म्हणजे ज्या ठिकाणी समजा एखादी जखम आहे तिथंच इन्फेक्शन होतं, त्याला म्हणायचं लोकल इन्फेक्शन. And systemic infection means the infection which spreads throughout the body. Okay, the infection which occurs or which is present, the pathogen present throughout the body. So that is called systemic infection. Local infection म्हणजे समजा एका ठिकाणी समजा एखादं दुख झालं किंवा एखादी फुटकुळ आली किंवा एखादी समथिंग वुंड आली, तिथंच बॅक्टेरियल इन्फेक्शन होतं, त्याला लोकल म्हणायचं. त्याला आणखीन दुसरा म्हणायचं पायोजेनिक इन्फेक्शन, पायोजेनिक बॅक्टेरिया, पायोजेनिक इन्फेक्शन, पस फॉर्मिंग इन्फेक्शन. लोकल ठिकाणी एखादं छोटं फोड येतो किंवा एखादं दुख होतं आणि तिथल्या तिथं इन्फेक्शन होतं, त्याला म्हणायचं लोकल इन्फेक्शन. आणि सिस्टमिक इन्फेक्शन म्हणजे इन्फेक्शन which occurs or which spreads throughout the body, means since from head up to the what you can say लेग्स. ओके, डोक्यापासून पायापर्यंत इन्फेक्शन असणं त्याला सिस्टमिक इन्फेक्शन म्हणायचं. इन केस ऑफ प्लांट pathogen is present throughout the plant, means from root up to the leaves, isn't it? So that is called systemic infection. So viruses are responsible to cause systemic infections. Okay friends. So friends, this is the typical slide which explains the structure of virus. Okay, typical virus. So in center you can see this is a nucleic acid. Okay, hey, nucleic acid. This is a RNA virus. Here single stranded RNA is a nucleic acid. And around this nucleic acid you will get this protein covering. Okay, this protein covering. Okay, now here the things what you are getting. So this is a typical structure of what you can say coronavirus सर्कल स्ट्रक्चर आहे. कोरोनाचं म्हणलं तर चालेल. ओके, तर ऑन द सरफेस, so these are some glycoprotein molecules which are there for the attachment purpose. So these glycoprotein attachment molecule attaches onto the host cell, isn't it? So likewise, just simply so we are not going to have this structure of this virus in detail, but we have to study the structure of TMV, tobacco mosaic virus. Okay, फक्त माहितीसाठी मी तुम्हाला ही स्लाइड या ठिकाणी दाखवलेलं आहे. So friends, these are the different types of viruses. Okay, फ्रेंड्स माझ्याकडची लाईट गेलेली आहे इथली. तुम्हाला माझा व्हिडिओ थोडासा अंधार पडेल. ओके, नो प्रॉब्लेम्स. लॅपटॉप मध्ये चार्जिंग आहे. विल कंटिन्यू. So these are friends different types of viruses, shapes of viruses. Okay, so you can say some beautiful diagrams. हे ब्युटिफुल डायग्राम्स तुम्हाला दिसतील, पण जशा ब्युटिफुल आहेत तशा ह्या डेडफुल आहेत. isn't it? Okay, बघा याची सिमेट्री कशी आहे. सो दिस इज व्हॉट बॅक्टेरियोफाज. हा बॅक्टेरियोफाज आहे. ओके, हा कोविड व्हायरस, हा हेक्सागोनल, हा रॉड शेप्ड आहे. isn't it? So this is the bacteriophage attached onto the surface of some cell. Okay, likewise. So these are the different forms of shapes of bacteria, types of bacteria. Rod shaped, spherical आहेत, hexagonal आहेत, isn't it? Pentagonal आहेत, with spike आहे त्याच्यावर, spike. ओके, काटे असल्यासारखे स्ट्रक्चर्स आहेत. Likewise, here on the basis of their host cell they infect. So types of viruses, you can say virus which infects animals are called zoophages. Classification of virus मध्ये zoophages. Viruses which infect plant are called phytophages. Phyto means plant. Viruses which infect algae, they are called as phycophages. Phyco means phycology, means algae. Viruses which infect fungus is called mycophages. Viruses which infect yeast, they are called zymophages. Viruses which infect bacteria are called bacteriophages, and viruses which infect cyanobacteria are called cyanophages, and viruses which infect E. coli, Escherichia coli bacteria are called as coliphages. Coliform त्याला म्हणतो आपण, coliphages. Coliform bacteria infect करणारे viruses हे coliphages आहेत. So these are the different types of viruses, friends. So friends, आपला आता वेळ संपत आलेली आहे या ठिकाणी. रिमेनिंग पार्ट that we will see it in next class. Okay, बाकीच्या पुढच्या क्लासमध्ये आपण नेक्स्ट पार्ट याचा पाहूया. ओके, व्हायरसेस हा टॉपिक मोठा आहे. मी स्लोली शिकवतो, हळू शिकवतो, त्यामुळे थोडा वेळ लागेल. घाबरून जायचं नाही. प्रॉब्लेम आले तर मला विचारत राहायचं. ओके, सो फ्रेंड्स, हॅव अ गुड डे. विल स्टॉप हिअर. वेळ संपत आली आपल्या याची क्लासची.